I have Alpha Force Zero here.
Hi.
She is unfamiliar with Mike Lindell, Mike My Pillow Lindell. So we're gonna go through a couple of funny clips because, as it happens, he just lost a lawsuit. He's being sued by Dominion, like Dominion Voting Systems, because he slandered them, knowingly, intentionally lied about them, maliciously. It is really hard to sue somebody for libel, and they succeeded. This is the best.
He's getting very excited about these.
This is why I do it, guys, right here. It's for this. Anyway, so Lindell, he lost his case. And as it happens, we have a televangelist who prophesied that he would not lose his case. A false prophecy. So I want to talk about the false prophecy in a second, but let's just go through, the Mike Lindell situation. I'm going to give a little intro about Lindell to people who may be unfamiliar with him, namely Alpha Force Zero.
Sorry.
And then we'll talk about the false prophet. Oh, this is going to be my favorite segment ever. If you don't know, Lindell basically lied about Dominion voting systems, claimed that they rigged the 2020 election in favor of Biden. And he was sued for libel by Dominion voting systems. And they also sued Fox News.
Ooh.
Now, Fox News settled for $750 million, almost $1 billion, which is the highest libel payout in U.S. history, to my knowledge. Winning a libel suit is insanely difficult. Not only do you have to prove that they were mistaken, that, Dominion didn't actually rig the election, you have to prove that these people intentionally set out to lie about Dominion, for example, because they had malice for Dominion and they wanted to hurt them as a company. Like, it is a really high bar to successfully sue somebody for libel.
Mhm.
And Fox News knowingly lied. They had text messages between Tucker Carlson and other Fox hosts where he was saying that this whole Dominion thing is nonsense and they know that they're not guilty. I mean, they had him dead to rights. And they sued Lindell as well. Dominion did. And Lindell just lost. He just lost the suit by jury, apparently. Check this out.
Mike Lindell lost, and he's thrilled. Because while the MyPillow founder was ordered to pay $2.3 million to a Coloradan for claims that he and his voting system company rigged the 2020 election against President Trump.
Eric Coomer was the name of the CEO of Dominion, and Lindell genuinely did destroy his company completely.
Lindell avoided a monster judgment, something 30 times larger what his opponents had requested. And he will...
I think it was $1 billion that they requested, and I guess he avoided that, okay?
His opponents had requested. And he will sleep well tonight on a MyPillow, no doubt.
No, there is doubt there. My pillows are actually not comfortable. You don't know what they are?
No, but I did just look it up. First of all, the website looks weird, and apparently I'm in the minority knowing Mike Lindell and not knowing MyPillow, because I typed in MyPillow into the search bar, and the immediate first result was MyPillow guy.
Yeah, MyPillow is really, really famous. We have one here, actually. I'll show you.
Is it the weird foam one?
Yeah, it's the weird foam one. It's really big. And their whole gimmick is they cut up pieces of foam that are in like, cubic shapes or whatever, and they shove it into a bag, and that's the pillow. And it's really lumpy by design. Like, that's how it's supposed to be. I don't know why. I don't know. They're not that uncomfortable. They're okay, I guess. But I would really prefer, like, a memory foam or whatever. Anyway.
Momo Sue had one, and it was the pillow I was always given as a child.
Yeah, I mean, they're okay pillows. But the thing is, Lindell has made it his entire personality about pillows. He is Mike My Pillow Lindell,
So
aka Mike Pillow. Anyway,
so stupid.
It's pretty funny. We'll go through it. We'll go through it. Just keep listening here. Oh, yeah, I have this on my soundboard. Nope, wrong thing. Hang on. Yeah, I have this on my soundboard.
Now you're an asshole. You got that? You're an asshole. Is what you are. No, he's an asshole.
No,
he's an ambulance chasing asshole. That's what you are. The lumpy pillows kiss my ass. Put that in your book.
That was Lindell complaining that somebody said his pillows are lumpy. God, I love this dude. Okay. We're actually gonna watch that in a minute. Let's keep listening.
because his beloved company was spared any financial judgment.
You think this lawfare against me and all this stuff is going to stop me? No.
Mike Lindell, defiant and loud, as usual, outside federal court in Denver after he was found liable of defamation but ducked a catastrophic financial penalty. Jurors imposed a $2.3 million judgment on Lindell and his company Frank's.
Wow. I mean, Lindell claims that he was worth 20 million and now he's 10 million in the hole. And we've seen his equipment, like his trucks and his pillow production equipment or whatever, factory equipment, up for sale on eBay and stuff. So he's definitely taken a financial hit hard.
Speech, no financial hit to MyPillow. Do you have $2.3 million?
So, I don't have to have any money, which I don't. I'm millions of dollars in the hole. I think I told you that in the courtroom. It's about 10 million net worth in the hole.
What Lindell has is pillow-buying MAGA faithful supporting his business and donating to his defense fund on promises that he will at last reveal his long-awaited evidence of election rigging. You said to your supporters when you asked them for money paying your legal fees.
Well, the thing is, he had to fire his lawyers because he didn't have the money to pay them anymore. He came out there on Steve Bannon, hat in hand, and said we had to fire our lawyers in court. And some MAGA lawyers stepped in on his behalf. And there's this big scandal recently where they used ChatGPT to write the legal briefs that they submitted to the court. And like they got in all kinds of trouble for it. Oh my God, it's so stupid.
That at this trial, we will reveal to the world the truth about our corrupt election platforms. Then you got inside and you said, actually, the trial's not about that. We're not going to put on evidence about the corrupt election platforms. This is about free speech. Here's my question. For all the folks that you've asked for money, who have given you money, when do they get to see your evidence in court as you've promised them?
They've seen the evidence. We've had it posted.
There is no evidence, obviously.
And what the judge didn't let come out here. We're all in this to try and save the country. I've never done that before. I'm not a grifter. I'd be the worst grifter. You look up grifter, you ain't gonna.
Yeah, you would be a bad grifter. Absolutely agreed. 100%.
To be fair, when you think about it, if there is no evidence, then he technically did already post it. He just didn't post
true,
anything.
I suppose. Actually,
Hi, sweetie.
the truth is a defense to libel or slander claims. So if what you're saying is true, you cannot be sued for this. He was sued for this successfully. They succeeded in this. And that alone right there should show you that this is nonsense, all of it.
See me. I'm not good at it. I just spend it all.
Eric Coomer, the former Dominion Voting Systems executive who successfully sued Lindell for defamation, has similar suits against a bunch of other conservative figures who made election rigging claims about
knowingly, intentionally lied about them.
Similar suits against a bunch of other conservative figures who made election rigging claims about him and his former company. Despite being found liable for defamation, Lindell told me today he will keep saying the same things. In Denver, Kyle Clark, 9 News. Mike Lindell.
I don't think so. I think he's going to be a lot more careful. He's already been careful since the suit, since the suit's been going on. Anyway, the point is that Lindell lost the suit. Now, let me just give a little bit of background. You know what? Before we give background on Lindell, listen to this prophet of God prophesy that Lindell will win.
And I'm telling you, the fact that it's in court right now is a very good place, because now we've been hearing what God has been saying, Gene. Luke 18, God of justice, the highest court of all, the court of heaven, God himself is getting involved.
Why does heaven have a court? Isn't God the ultimate judge? Why do they need a court? Doesn't he know everything? Or there's no discovery process or whatever?
And he is going to avenge Mike, MyPillow, and we the people speedily from the garbage and the injustice that we have gone through.
So God's going to avenge Mike.
And MyPillow. Mike MyPillow, specifically.
Mike MyPillow Lindell. It's so absurd and stupid and sad.
I'm sorry about the kitty screams. Cashmere jumped up on my lap halfway through that.
He does that. He does it a lot. Okay, so now Lindell is lost. Let's listen to this prophet of God explain why he falsely prophesied to us. He said God told him that.
Oh, he brought attention to it?
He did. A lot of the time they don't, but he did.
I
Okay.
kept hearing when I prayed for Mike something about an appeal. And I heard when I was praying that there has been an appeal that has gone before the court of heaven, which is amazing because that's the highest court of all. You cannot mess with God. Acts
Oh my God, dude.
9, Paul thought he was tough, big, but he got knocked off his high horse. God has said this is the year of his fight, and we are going to see the Lord continue to fight for those who are standing like Mike and other great people who are saying, you know what, God, we want your justice, we want your righteousness, and the Lord's going to do it.
So here's the point. Mike lost on earth, but he's going to win on appeal. That's the claim. All right, so let me just talk about Lindell. This is Lindell, probably at his worst, when he was hawking slippers out the back of his car.
And we still have some of those all-season slippers left at $25 a pair. To thank all of you out there for the great, for supporting us.
Yeah, buy things for me to thank you for what you're doing.
Supporting us through all this. My employees, we've lost all our box stores, our shopping channels. We get attacked every single day, and MyPillow should not have to be attacked when they're protecting companies out there that we never heard the names of before.
You never heard of Dominion before you started lying about them? Is that what you're saying?
Which I don't need to name, all the voting machine companies.
Oh, come on, name them.
Which I don't need to name.
Yeah, this is after the lawsuits started.
Companies, but
yeah, anyway, absolutely hilarious. And this is in deposition when he was being sued by Dominion. The lawyers come in and they're asking him very specific questions about like how the business operates and stuff, okay?
I'm not asking about the lumpy pillow calls.
No, they're not lumpy pillows. That's not what they call on. Okay.
He's talking about his customer service line and he's saying they don't call about lumpy pillows. Of course they do. They're lumpy. They're supposed to be lumpy.
It's so funny.
Okay. That when you say lumpy pillows, now you're an asshole. You got that? You're an asshole.
A quack hole.
Is what you are.
Like
no,
right.
he's an asshole.
No,
he's
it's
an
not.
ambulance chasing asshole. That's what you are. The lumpy pillows, kiss my ass. Put that in your book. No,
Put that in
they
your
answer
book.
anything, any problem customer that wants to reach Mike Lindell. Those are the ones. I want to talk to Mike Lindell. I want to talk to Mike Lindell. They send them to here.
He's so angry about this.
I know, like he gets so worked up over something so stupid. Like, they're lumpy. Why are you so upset about this? Honestly.
Mike Lindell. They send them to here and they go, or they call about
They go, what?
That's what I said.
here and they go, or they call about maybe they didn't get their pillow on time because of the FedEx or whatever.
No, it's everyone else's fault. It's always someone else's fault. It's never yours, right?
What's the context of this clip? Why is he defending his customer service so hard over here?
I believe I have the whole thing, like this whole deposition on video here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here's just a random one. This one's funny too. Basically, I believe he was just describing how the business operates to see what its degree of involvement might have been with Mike Lindell.
Oh.
And how if he maybe pulled money from MyPillow to fund some of his shenaniganery with the election and all that.
Right.
So they're just kind of establishing the general procedure for how the company works. And he said, so someone calls about lumpy pillows, for example, and Lindell just loses it.
Mm-hmm.
God, it's so like nobody has ever called about lumpy pillows. Of course they have. It's such a stupid thing to get hung up on. All right, I'm sorry.
FedEx or whatever. Well, we'll cover them even though it could be somebody else's fault. Nobody called because of a lumpy pillow. But good one though.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
What I'm saying,
Obviously, you don't have them.
He's not done. I love it. He waited for him to talk, and then he starts complaining again. Oh,
saying
Obviously, you don't have a MyPillow too. You don't, do you?
what I'm saying is, Mr. Lindell,
Asshole. What? Go ahead. No, I'm pissed.
Yeah, but go ahead. I guarantee when the guy starts talking again, he's gonna continue.
I love it. It's so funny.
Pissed.
I understand.
Yeah, go. When you're saying what?
Do you need to take a break?
No, I don't need to take a break.
All right. Here's what I'm asking.
Your lumpy pillow question kind of set a nerve because obviously just
No, really? Knock me over with a feather. It's that a nerve?
Because obviously, just like your question in here, Mike's, in your little complaint, Mike's frivolous cyber symposium, this whole case is frivolous. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, because Lindell held a cyber symposium, quote unquote, to prove the election was stolen. He had this contest there where people could go, they'd register, they'd prove their credentials if they were, internet cyber guys, quote unquote. That's what he called them. Basically, software engineers or whatever. And they go into this room and they have a laptop with data on it. And if they can prove that the election wasn't stolen or that this data is not whatever, then they win $1 million.
Ooh.
And somebody won. Somebody won.
Did he pay him?
No. Basically, the rules of the contest were you have to do forced arbitration. The guy goes in, he pulls up this program called Wireshark, and it's used to look at individual bits, like, data bits. And the guy basically goes through with Wireshark, he goes through the data and sees that it's just random internet packets. It's nothing to do with the election. It's just garbled nonsense. And he proved it so thoroughly that even though he was forced into arbitration, he couldn't, get a jury trial. The arbitrators still decided that he did win the contest and Lindell did have to pay him.
Ooh.
So anyway, Lindell is his own worst enemy is the bottom line here. I just love. So point is he held this cyber symposium where this contest took place. And that was a really big part of the quote unquote election rigging, thing.
But go ahead. Finish your question on this and try not to talk about, get personal and badmouth my employees or my pillows or anything like that. Go ahead.
I haven't said a single word about your employees, and I don't own one of your
You've
pillows.
attacked them. You attacked them. You were part of this. You're getting paid on consignment. You get paid if they get money from my employees. Yes,
It's not the employees that did this. It's you, Mike. My God. Dude can't take responsibility for anything. He made literally every part of this happen all along the way. This is his fault.
This makes me wonder how people around him, how the adults around him acted when he was 3 having tantrums like this, because for most kids, they get ignored when they're throwing a stupid tantrum, or the adult tells them that that's not going to work or whatever. But with him, he seems to believe that throwing a tantrum and repeating the same things and blowing things out of proportion, twisting words, will get him what he wants or will make him seem better.
Yeah. Also, people who get filthy rich, they have a totally different culture that we are not part of or understand. I came to find, living in New York City, I found that a lot of people are just in another world that we are not a part of. It's so the culture is night and day. It's like living in America and then going to a Middle Eastern country. That's how dramatic a culture shift it is. And when you see really, really rich people acting weird, confusing, doing like this, it's a pretty strong indication they're probably completely sheltered from the outside world in every way.
I love my really, really rich friends, and because I lived in New York, I had a lot of those. But I once had a girl literally yell at me over a phone call because I said a passport isn't just a common household item for everyone to get, and that they don't give you passports when you're born alongside your birth certificate.
Very different, very entitled. It's confusing, the culture shift, honestly.
Yeah. And I also remember with the same person, I had said, "Oh, I've never been out of the country, never been off the continent," and got I got yelled at again.
People are absolutely bizarre. So anyway, I suspect Mike Lindell might be a part of that.
them. You were part of this. You're getting paid on consignment. You get paid if they get money from my employees. Yes, you have attacked them. You personally did this.
No, he did this. Lindell did this. This is his fault.
With Newsmax. You, and I called it right out, the criminal lawyers and Coomer, when you guys did this to me.
Anyway, yeah, he can't take responsibility for anything in life. Anyway, I'm just so entertained by it, dude. Oh my God, I love it so much. Yeah, tell me what you think about it in the comments. Kind of a shame that Mike Lindell was not even more financially ruined. He deserved it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a win. We got to win. Hopefully, this will teach people that you can't intentionally, knowingly slander people to destroy their company for no other reason than because you want to destroy their company without financial consequences. Yeah, tell me your thoughts.